Hello everyone, my name is Basti and I'm an independent trader with years of experience in the crypto markets. If you're looking for the latest information for daily chart analysis, and if you're looking for trading predictions as well as trading news, then you've come to the right place. Let's go. Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Nice to have you here. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, that you hit the notification bell so you always kept up to date with all the latest as far as the prices go. We always post new videos from Monday to Sunday where we go over where the resistance lines are, where the support lines are, and that's all very important to you, so make sure that you do subscribe. So I would say let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, we finally made it out of our downtrend channel. For 3 months we've been inside of this downtrend. We tried over and over again to get out of it, but finally we've made it. As you can see, our candle for the daily close is a very solid one. In other words, very bullish, and I've told you guys this before in our previous videos. If we are able to break out of our resistance line, then there's going to be a very massive pump towards the upside. And that is exactly what happened. As you can see, when we compare that to previous situations, we've had this downtrend where once we break out of it, we have a huge pump. Here also, we have this downtrend, we break out of it, and we get another huge pump. And that's exactly what it seems to be happening right now for us here. So you see, we had resistance here, we also had it here, we also had it here. And finally, we retested the whole thing, and this time we were able to get our nice pump. So if we move down to the smaller time frames, we can see that we do have a lot of support under us, where before, if you can have a look here on the right, that all used to be resistance, and now it has actually become our support. One example of that is the 37,323 US dollars. And I even mentioned this to you guys, that one trading possibility is that every time that you hit a support line, you could open a long position, which will take you up to the next support or resistance area rather. And that's very much how it was playing out all throughout for the last couple of weeks. So it was difficult to get over the 38,243 US dollars. As you can see, we couldn't get past this resistance area, which took the price lower again, but we did find support exactly at 37,323 US dollars, like I mentioned. So this has been switching between resistance and support for weeks now, and finally it has become a very strong support for the price of Bitcoin at the moment. And if you have seen my videos, you know that I've been telling you that you can play this game for a while, where you enter a long position every time that you hit a support line. And so whoever has done that, congratulations. You can see that right now the profit is just about 4,600 US dollars, and that's about 12.5% in profit. I had also opened a long position at that price, and at the moment, of course, the profit is starting to look very nice. At the moment, of course, as you can see, we find ourselves inside this resistance zone, and you can see that something that I mentioned in previous videos would be exactly that for us. And so what is very important for the price of Bitcoin at the moment is that we are able to overcome this resistance zone, make another pump, pushing the price to 44,000 US dollars. So that is, of course, very important for the price of Bitcoin at the moment. If we turn on the VPR indicator, we can see that pretty much if we are able to get past this consolidation zone here, then basically our path forward towards the price of 47,000 US dollars is very much free, as you can see. Another thing to watch out for, this might be an inverted Bart Simpson pattern, which is called like that because of the shape of Bart Simpson's hair. But you can make that what you will. My point is that if we look at the VPVR indicator, this entire area here is void of resistance. So again, the price of 43,000, 44,000 US dollars is an area that once we leave it behind us, really looks like we would quickly reach for the 47,000. So basically we just have to wait and see if we do get to see this pump anytime soon. So if we move down to our 1 hour chart, we can see that even more clearly what happened yesterday, that we did have a bit of a sell-off, as you can see this candle here, but it quickly got bought back, and that's what brought us to this big solid pump that took us to where we are at the moment. And one pattern to recognize here is that we are getting this pump with consolidation for a few hours, then another pump, consolidation for a few hours, and then another pump. Well, that is the question now. 43,700 US dollars would be our target at the moment for the next move. But actually, if we go back to the 4-hour chart, we can turn on the EMA ribbons. And as you can see, we had left our green EMA ribbons way below us, which is a very good sign. So again, as you can see, we have switched again from red to green, and that is a very good sign. But it is important, however, that of course, as I mentioned, we do overcome this support or resistance area rather. It could be that if we don't do that, then we might go back to 40,000 US dollars. It's just even push the price lower again. Hopefully that's not gonna be what happens. One thing that for me is a bit of a good news sign is that there has been a lot of liquidated short positions in the last few hours. So as you can see here, yesterday when the markets opened, that's when we first saw the first big liquidation candle here, and then again a few hours later, which is exactly what brought this big pump that we see here on our chart. And in the past, when something like that has happened, it usually brings us into a more positive market. But one thing to remember or to keep in mind, this is not a short squeeze at the moment yet. Another thing that is positive is that the 200 daily moving average line, we've been able to go across it and we find ourselves way above it at the moment. So again, those two are very good signs, I think, for the current status of the Bitcoin market. And if we go here and look at my Twitter feed, you see that a couple of, I think like 4 days ago, I posted this on February the 1st, actually. I posted this graphic. The graphic was mentioning that, or illustrating that there are these cycles of about 91 days where we have this pump and then the sell-off, the pump and the sell-off, and that is exactly what seems to be happening at the moment, precisely around this time. So something like that would, we would take the price to at least the previous all-time high in just about, I don't know, just around May or June, meaning there's a very big possibility that for the next few months we'll have a bullish scenario for the market. Now, I do have to be very careful here because, of course, as rightly so many of you point out that, well, we have to see 30,000 US dollars before we go back to a bullish market. That is, of course, a possibility. And that's why I say, so long as we don't go past our consolidation phase here and take this high out of the way, then it's really not confirmed that this is a bullish move for the long term. It could be that we are rejected, that would bring our price down to this area and maybe even lower, turning the whole scenario again into a bearish one. Maybe even building a double bottom here where, for the future. But of course, none of this really applies unless we know what happens with this consolidation area. As you know, Bitcoin never keeps on climbing and climbing and climbing non-stop. We might build a bullish flag here that would, of course, cool off the prices for a bit before we do get to continue that journey towards the upside. Another thing I wanted to mention briefly is the big giveaway that I've already mentioned. You can find the link for that in the description. If you open a new account at Femex and deposit 100 USDT, then you can get the chance to win 1,500 US dollars to trade with. You can also follow me on Twitter and Telegram, where I post very important information. As you can see, this graphic that I posted here yesterday, where I show the different levels for resistance and support. None of that, for example, has changed. That means all of this is very useful information to you. And now let's pivot to have a look at the price of Ethereum, where we see that the picture is starting to also look very nicely. As I mentioned before, we do have this support line that I drew here, and that held very nicely for us. And that actually, as I mentioned, if we do get past our high that we built here, then that's a very good chance to open a long trade that at the moment, of course, as you can see, has taken us to the 3,000 US dollar price line. So as you can see, you should not miss any of this information. That's why you should subscribe. It's free and it's very important for you. And now if we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we see that once again we are pumping up again. And so what that basically means, and I mentioned this before in the other videos, that of course when Bitcoin makes a move towards the top, then that doesn't necessarily mean it will be the case for the altcoins. Of course, there are some altcoins that are doing well, like for example, you can see DOT had a 6% increase in the price. Also Solana is doing, seems to have found a bottom or a floor. And then also if we look at Luna, for example, it's also looking much better at the moment. Here we're also way past our 200 EMA ribbon. We even built this W pattern here. So the whole thing is looking much, much better. So, you know, as I said, make sure that you do join the community because all of this information is very, very important and you shouldn't miss out on it. One thing that's important to note is when we look at the price of Bitcoin at the moment, we finally are well inside our EMA, daily EMA ribbon, something that we haven't seen since the 26th of December last year. Also, if we look at the volume here on the 4-hour chart, you can see that the amount of volume that came into the market is a very, very good one. Last time we saw something like that was here when we had this liquidation that it got immediately bought up again. And so that is also a very good sign at the moment. And we didn't need a whole lot of volume or as much volume to be able to liquidate all of the short positions that were open around this area. So that is something to be excited about in general. You can, of course, but you have to be careful, open a short trade when we reach this resistance area here. But I am going to stay out of that for now. Also, please don't forget to leave your comments below. I'm always very interested to read about those, see what you guys think regarding not just this video in general, but if you have suggestions or ideas for the channel, that is of course also welcome. And tomorrow, for those who speak German, we will be having a live stream around 8 o'clock. So if you want to be there, you are most welcome. So thank you so much for watching and for your support. You truly are the best community I could ask for. Please come back tomorrow for more videos and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our content. That's all for now. My name is Basti. Stay safe. Bye bye.